Fs, and Casey says good luck to all gingers. So any of you gingers tuning in, good luck to you in life.
Alright, now we're in the right game. Okay, so let me explain this again, because I feel bad for people on YouTube, because I am a YouTube person who loves YouTube and doesn't like to watch things live. Also for past broadcast people. What's happening right now is Game 1 of Scrim series between Nullstone Gaming and SynC eSports. We cast Game 4 live, and we just figured we'd go back and do the other 3 games, because we are not normal people. Anyway, that means this is Game 1, and this is actually Game 1, right? They just banned Cthulhu.
Yep.
Yes, Warbeast and Magmas for the first couple of bans. Not crazy. I finally loaded into the right damn replay. Oh well.
I'm curious as to why Drent's banned Warbeast. I mean, What You Got plays a ridiculously good Warbeast. That's his top played on its account.
Okay, yeah, but in competitive, he's actually not been that good. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just saying. I'm not even sure if it's his fault. I'm sure his Warbeast is very good. I just don't know if jungle Warbeast is a thing that can be done.
Oh, it can. Trust me.
Like, it's really mediocre. I don't know, man.
I like Warbeast as a jungle carry. I mean, he doesn't have that ganking presence at all until level 6. He needs to sit there and farm. Kind of like a Legionnaire. Legionnaire has more ganking potential than a Warbeast does for sure. But Warbeast is a super hard carry, man, and especially when people use Puzzle Box on him, he is just so deadly. There is nothing you can do to stop him.
He's definitely a dangerous hero. I just don't think you can lane him in the jungle, is the problem. I think you have to suicide him, because he farms so slowly early on, and he can get so wrecked by wards or slight amounts of roaming. He just doesn't do a lot. He's not going to gank to get his GPM up, and even if he hits 6, he's not even that good of a gank here, in my opinion, just because, yeah, he's got a bunch of damage, but he needs somebody in the side lane or in the mid lane with a lot of CC to keep people locked down so they don't just run away. And he suffers from that problem the whole game.
At level 6, you're usually dealing with opponents who still only have their red boots. They're probably marching around at about 350 movement speed. Compared to 522, I mean, that's a world of difference. You're definitely going to be able to catch up to them. And if you're versing, say, like a Glacius or something, you're going to be able to catch them as long as they don't have their CC tools up and you're not diving a tower.
And that's the problem, though, is that people will often have a spell or 2 up, and you don't hit all that hard, you're still not close to tanky enough to be able to dive tower. So if they get under a tower, which is very possible in the middle lane, because obviously it's so short, in the long lane, yeah, if the lane is, if you have lane control on your team, then you might be able to get there in time. But again, suicide heroes are typically picked for their mobility. You're not really going to put a hero in the suicide lane that doesn't have a lot of mobility, or a way to get away from something for the most part. So,
well, you don't need mobility when you have your wolves that can.
No, I'm saying the suicide hero has mobility.
Right.
So it's hard for Warbeast to chase down like a Bubbles, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can just shell surf away.
That's where your teammates come in. You force the port, and then Warbeast is waiting around the corner.
Which is good, but again, then you're reliant on your teammates to lock people down for you. So, and short lane heroes, for the most part, don't do the greatest job of that. Puppet Master, perhaps one of the very few exceptions, but like a Silhouette in the short lane, not a huge CC presence. So, for example, and you wouldn't really pick Silhouette and Warbeast in the same team, but you really have to build the lineup around a jungle Warbeast, is my point. Like,
right. No, I agree with that. It's
really situational, and if it doesn't work, which is very possible, then things can go south very quickly. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it. And it hurts me to say, because Lycan was one of my favorite heroes in Dota. I love Warbeast in Han. And I love playing jungle with Warbeast. It's just, I don't think it's very good. Anyway, we can disagree on that. I don't know, that's fine. The Legion side going to pick up Swiftblade, Glacius, and Tempest. However, we're going to start off with Ophelia and Pebbles. So both sides going for some pretty typical lineups so far. Mickey obviously a beast on that Pebbles.
I find it interesting that Nullstone went for Glacius rather than an Empath or Rhapsody. With Rhapsody on the board, Glacius pickup is questionable, to say the least.
I think it's the counter of the Ophelia. They want the freeze for the creeps.
Yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to run that Swiftblade Suicide. Fuzzy Sloth plays a very good Suicide Swiftblade, so maybe they'll be playing... It's hard to say.
Pyromancer going to be the third pick there, and I like that a lot. I really hope they put it in Insania's hands, so they could certainly farm it as well. But Pyro, a hero we almost never see in the competitive scene, and then one I think has a crap ton of potential. I mean, his burst damage and his wave clear is just so good.
He has a lot of utility. He's one of those heroes with ridiculous amounts of utility, man. I mean, he can be a support, he can be a mid, he can't be a jungle, but he provides a lot for a team. I mean, that fervor is great for taking down Kongor. His CC, his stun has a pretty big radius. I mean, that 1 second delay does hurt you a little bit, but if you follow up with it, it's a great tool. And his ulti is definitely very strong. I like the hero a lot.
I don't know, I really don't know how we want to see more of him. He's not particularly mobile, and he could certainly use a little bit of farm, so perhaps a little bit more suited to the second support role. But I think you can still run him as a primary support, and when you have an initiation from like a Pebbles, then his stun should be pretty easy to land. They have similar AoEs, and you could just put one right on top of another. So if Mickey can get some good stuns off, people are going to be locked down for a very long time thanks to Pyromancer's follow-up. And Ophelia's as well. They have a lot of CC on the Hellborn side so far.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll run that Pyro as a mid. I like Pyro as a mid, especially when you have a ganking jungler like the Ophelia. I mean, if you have a Skeleton King come to lane, you can lock them in place, Pyro gets his stun off, and that's a dead hero. Pretty much no matter who it is, as long as he's level 6.
Fate has banned Keeper of the Forest.
Oh god. Looks like SynC's not caring too much about their bans.
I guess not. I think that they just...
Defiler.
Yeah. Mini-Mag was talking about in the last podcast saying he thinks Defiler is legit.
I disagree.
Insania also disagrees.
Yeah.
I think he's good in certain lineups. If you can protect him, he can wreck towers. So if you have a push-oriented lineup, he's actually quite good, I think. And the uptime on his ultimate is actually very strong. So if he gets off to a solid start, he can snowball and basically be impossible to deal with. The problem is if he doesn't do that, there's really no escape mechanism other than just naturally being kind of fast and having a big fat silence. And then he's got no CC, he's got basically nothing, like he's not particularly tanky.
Right.
So it's really an all or nothing hero. You either kill somebody and you win in 20 minutes, or you lose very quickly on the other hand. So.
Well, when you think of heroes that you put in a solo lane that exceed in the solo lane, but that have no CC tools whatsoever, so we're talking purely offensive ranged heroes that need to be in a solo lane, you think of Soul Stealer and Defiler. Now, if you had to pick between those two heroes, almost everybody's going to pick Soul Stealer because he does a hell of a lot more damage, his carry potential is so much greater than that of Defiler's, and Defiler doesn't have any stuns or slows. I mean, that silence is a great tool, don't get me wrong, but it's just not enough. If you don't have a stun or a slow at all, or any mobility skills along with that, you need something to kind of compensate for that, and Soul Stealer's ulti along with his aura is what you need. I just don't think Defiler brings enough to the table.
I think it's different. Like, if I were going for an all-out push lineup and I didn't have a lot of tower damage for whatever reason, I wouldn't mind picking up a Defiler. If I could protect the Defiler early on, especially with a jungler or even a dual lane, I wouldn't mind picking up a Defiler. And Defiler tends to go a little more tanky than Soul Stealer does, so she's a little bit better able to stand up in the middle of a team fight, especially early on. She gets going a lot quicker than Soul Stealer does. So I think they're similar heroes, yeah, in terms of what their skill sets do. Is they don't have CC, they don't have an escape mechanism, they're kind of squishy. I think that they fit slightly different roles in a team. For example, you could run a support Defiler. Like, you could do that.
No, it doesn't work.
You could.
It just won't work. I mean...
No, sure you could do it.
You can run it, don't get me wrong, but it's just not effective. That's not what that hero exceeds at. That's like running a Pebbles support. Like, why would you do that? You'd want to run a Pebbles short lane or middle. It's what he exceeds at. You get that early portal key, and that's where you see the hero's true potential. Same goes for Defiler. I mean, you won't see the hero's greatest potential unless you put her in a solo lane against one other hero, possibly two if you need to.
Silhouette has just been picked. I don't know, you have speakers on or something? It's very loud all of a sudden.
I do not. I can turn... Hang on, let me turn Skype down real fast.
Anyway, Yeah, so it will be the silhouette here, so the prediction that you made, what you got, or the Switchblade is going to be the Fuzzy Sloth's hands, it looks like, and what you got will be playing the Tempest, not the Switchblade.
That's a really strong draft from Nullstone.
Yeah, but it's going to be a support Pyro, yeah, on the Hellrain
Yep.
side, and we knew it wasn't going to be mid because they picked Pebbles, and Mickey plays Pebbles. But
Now,
Keizu on the Kraken, very good hero combination, player hero combination, but sorry.
As I said earlier, Beaverbanger just confirmed that he has not played Han in a week, so he is a little bit rusty at the moment. They have Han Tour this weekend, so he needs to start practicing ASAP. And I'm surprised he's not practicing right now. But yeah, I favor the Legion's lineup. I don't like Slither as a hero. I don't like that hero at all. And the Pyro pick I like. I think it's a really strong hero, and he's probably going to be landing with Pebbles. But I guess we'll wait and find out. But I mean, you look at this Legion draft, man. They have 4, you could even say 5 ridiculously strong heroes. Swiftblade, Silhouette, Bubbles, Tempest. Those are 4 heroes that are extremely strong, no doubt about it. Glacius, I'm kind of on the fence about, but definitely a strong hero in the right lineup.
Is my auto skip pause not on? Interesting. Is yours on?
Nope, but I'm turning it on right now.
I was pretty sure I had it on. Maybe because you relogged, but I didn't relog, so I'm very confused as to why. You're at 1... Okay, let's go to 125.
Okay.
Or 11... Wait, on in-game? 11... I was on 11:25 on the replay counter.
11:25, okay.
Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30. Yeah, alright. Anyway. Looks like how we're going to be running the aggressive jungle Ophelia with the Tool lane, Pebbles, and Pyromancer in long lane. And Tempest's going to be contested a little bit in his woods. No huge surprise, Glacius and Silhouette in the bottom lane. And middle, it looks like it's going to be Bubbles with the Suicide Swiftblade. Top it will be Flens in the solo Slither role. And
wow.
Mickey, or Keizu playing the mid. Yeah, so that Kraken going to be solo mid.
I'm really curious to see how this top lane ends up.
Yeah, me
I mean,
too.
I haven't seen Slither in a solo lane in such a long time. I don't see that hero very much at all anymore. And then when I do, it's only as a support. But yeah, I want to see how Flensmeister does, especially with that awesome skin of his.
Yep, this is a great skin.
I've always liked that avatar.
But it's one of the one from Polywogger. Pretty damn funny. A cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Alt avatars. They should make more of those.
Are you a furry, Quincy?
I'm not a furry. In fact,
okay, thank God.
I don't have a big problem with furries. Hey man, do whatever makes you happy.
Beaverbang is playing Silhouette. I've never seen him play this hero before. Usually, I see him succeed at melee heroes for the most part. I know he plays a good Wretched Hag.
I'm pretty sure he's played Soul before. I don't remember off the top
I'm sure
of
he
my head,
has.
but
I haven't seen it, but it's maybe the strongest carry at the moment, so it's important that he gets some practice with it in case he didn't hit this weekend.
Yeah. And I'm going to take some harass damage off that. So yeah, this weekend is Han Tour, guys, so obviously tune into that. Tempest's taking some harassment in the woods, but we'll be mostly okay. And these guys, so we'll be playing Prime Icarus in a match that should not last very long. I love PI, but out of the 4 potential round of 8 matches, I think that's the one that's almost certainly going to go in the direction of, or not just almost certainly, but pretty certainly going to go in the direction of the favored team. The other ones are BMG versus Reason, which could go either way.
Definitely.
Nullstone versus TUS, which could go either way, but I think I favor Nullstone pretty significantly there.
Save the replay of that because I'm going to be working that morning, and I really want to see the replay of TUS versus Nullstone.
Yeah, so we'll see what Hancast casts, but yeah, I will be doing replay casts after Han Tour, and we'll be covering some of those round of 8 diamond matches, perhaps both of them. We'll see what we get to. And what else gets covered by other people like Lash. I don't know who else is going to be doing stuff. Anyway, and then the last one is Willowkeeper versus Dawn, which will go in Willowkeeper's favor, I think. But I mean, Dawn could win that game or that series. Like,
Dawn's a very strong team.
Yeah, I mean we saw them look real good in the winners bracket or in the Gold Division Cycle 3 or whatever, with Probusk being added to that roster. And
who did Reason bring in instead of Probusk?
Bray, TPS Priceless, and Nier have been brought in. So
I know TPS Priceless. I don't know the other two.
Bray has been around for a long time. I recognize that name. Nier has apparently also been around for a long time. I don't recognize his name. But that might have just been before I was really paying a lot of attention to the competitive scene.
No, I don't. Yeah, since Reason did lose Probusk, I don't know how good their new players are, but I favor BMG simply based off the fact that they looked very good last Han Tour cycle.
Right.
They're definitely making huge improvements compared to the first time that they played it as a new team. So I think they're going to do really well. Same goes for Prime Icarus, man. I mean, they've been scrimming a lot lately, and they're definitely going to be practiced for it. They're really excited, man. Like, they are very enthusiastic about being in Diamond, and I really want them to, well, they're probably not going to be SynC, but I want them to get far.
I want them to at least, let's start off with staying in Diamond.
Right.
That's my goal for them this cycle. Get a better seed next cycle, so you don't have to face SynC, and do what you can with that. Because if PI goes up against, like, Night Raid, or even Nullstone, or Reason, they have a decent shot at beating those teams. I'm not sure if I favor them in any of those matchups, but
I favor them because of how much they've been practicing lately.
Yeah, and their new lineup has looked very good. So I'm excited to see what they can bring.
Definitely.
Shuriken's a good buddy of ours.
Then they're going to be versing Dawn after SynC, correct?
If Dawn loses, I think so.
Who does Dawn verse?
I don't remember exactly how the brackets work. That gets confusing because they like switch. I think.
Yep.
I'm not really sure who they play. It's going to depend, of course, on who actually wins. Anyway, Drent's going to get caught here on the Glacius, and he will get chucked back in. That's going to be Bloodlust. They managed to kill Drent's pretty easy. Nice stun there from Mickey. And speaking of this game, which we basically haven't talked about at all.
Yeah, Nullstone is falling way behind. Their short lane carry is at 150 GPM.
Slapped with the anger.
Yeah, man, SynC's destroying all their lanes right now. I mean, Bubbles is pretty close to Kraken's GPM. Kraken has a regen though, and he's going to be winning the lane here. Bubbles is just about out of bottle charges. And Flensmeister's destroying Fuzzy Sloth in this top lane. Fuzzy's at low mana, about 3/4 HP. And he only has 200 GPM compared to Slitter's almost 300.
And I would have imagined that Fuzzy Sloth would do better in this lane, considering his spin basically counters all of Slitter's stuff. I mean, like, he's not going to take any damage from the poison while he's spinning. And does that actually just wipe the buff? Or the debuff, I guess?
Yes.
Alright, so he should just be able to spin on top of Slither. And Slither's not particularly fast either before he gets boosted. He does have power treads now. But even then, at 350 movement speed, so he's below 300 at level 1. You compare that to Swiftblade, who is currently at 355 with just red boots, so not even upgraded boots yet, and Swiftblade's already faster. Meanwhile, Cholo actually going to rotate top. As I think Kraken knows that he came up here. And he's going to get spotted by the creep wave, right? Did that see him?
Yeah, that definitely saw him. I don't know why he's showing himself.
And it looks like Keizu will rotate top as well, so mid lane can be abandoned by both teams. And Swiftblade realizing that he does not want to be here anymore because Kraken is gone.
Something worth mentioning, teams like Willowkeeper and Nullstone Gaming that revolve around their short lane carry player, aka Balthazar and Beaverbanger, definitely the strongest players on each team. I mean, they're accustomed to going up against a suicide hero so that that particular player can get absolute free farms, spin out of control, and carry into the late game, mid game, whatever. When you're versing a team like SynC, who's well versed in pretty much every strategy, including running a pseudo tri-lane aggressively, these teams, they know what to do, but they're not really good at acting upon it. I mean, for instance, Beaverbanger's at 150 GPM, and with this really strong player being shut down, they really don't have much to do, like, in regards to countering the other team.
And we see Kelfield there, counter right there, Beaver dying once again, so you were talking about that, and he's actually going to be lower now. Kaiser coming with the Kraken, we'll have the release of Kraken. He's going to basically cut people off. Tempest essentially couldn't go that way anymore, and they might actually be able to chase down Glacius as a result, but Bubble is going to get chucked before he can port to the Shell Surf, so that's going to be a 3-man wipe for SynC eSports, and they're up 4-1. 4.5k gold, 4k experience. Talk about calling GGs already. That's, I mean, that might not be inaccurate. You look at this, the Hellborn side, they got Kraken and Pebbles. So, this is Snowball City for them. Like, if they get off to a good start, they're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, and both are really strong heroes against that Silhouette. I mean, he's going to get an early Nullstone, but so what? You're versing a Kraken and a Pebbles who are not single target spells for the most part.
What a bunch of BM from the spectator chat.
Yep.
These guys.
Yeah. A lot of teams are lost when you're versing those trial lanes or pseudo trial lanes. It's like when that carry doesn't get farm, it's like, oh shit, what do we do? Okay. And they're definitely experiencing this right now. I mean, you have Beaverbanger in the middle lane trying to catch up on some farm, but you have Ophelia and Pyromancer running through the Legion jungle. So there's a slight chance that they'll run over this mid lane, get a kill on either Tempest or Beaverbanger.
And just as importantly, Beaverbanger is still level 5. So he does not have access to his ultimate yet, and that's going to be a big deal when it comes to how safe he feels in this lane. Obviously, Silhouette much more difficult to kill when she does have the illusion up, but they don't have to worry about that quite yet. So having to play a little more passive, and that's just going to delay her level 6 even more. So she'll probably get it relatively soon. She's been 5 for a while, but in the bottom lane they have rotated Bubbles down here to sort of play the suicide role.
I like that.
Yeah, they don't really want to give this up anymore. And Beaverbanger does hit 6 here, so has the illusion, and that'll help obviously. It might allow him to RNG his way out of a Kraken ultimate, something like that, or just use it for typical defensive purposes. And top lane actually, Flensmeister dies. I completely whiffed on that. But Swift Slash is used along with the spin and Drench with the gank from Glacius. So they managed to get a second kill on the Legion side.
They needed that big time.
Yep.
I mean, now Fuzzy Sloth playing that Swiftblade is top on the GPM charts for their team at only 260, man. And you compare that to Mickey's Pebbles at 425. It's a world of difference.
Yeah, I think they did need that. Meanwhile, actually, Pebbles getting chased down here in the woods, but he will be okay. Has a haste rune, so Cholo Simeon not really worried about too much. They did need a kill. I just don't think they really needed a Flensmeister. I mean, he wasn't farming all that well before. Actually, no! Bubbles! He's going to take the turret! Does he not have to take cover? He doesn't have to take cover. Okay. That's fine. And he's dead.
Yep.
There's the Kraken. Is going to be put on pretty much nothing. Looks like Kai's going to be in trouble here. He will fall. And Tempest looking for a Tempest hole, but that's not going to happen. He gets stunned out and killed before he can do anything. So what you got, not really enjoying that engagement. Swiftblade waiting off to the side here, looking for something. Pyromancer's going to be a lot of trouble because there's the spin. And the question is, will he have enough damage before Pyromancer actually delivers? Nope. He will not have enough damage. And Ophelia now going to chase down a little bit by the Swiftblade. Has to watch out for that Minotaur stomp. And here comes Pebbles. He's now out of mana, so can't do any more spinning. And that's going to be a death.
Right before that skirmish began, I was about to say there's nothing harder to kill than a Bubbles with a haste rune. And sure enough, you guys.
There's something that's harder to kill than Bubbles with a haste rune.
Yeah, I don't understand why a lot of Bubbles players don't get take cover, like at level 2 or 3. I think it's too strong an ability, especially against a Kraken who has that Torrent, which is a really slow animation, really easy to dodge with the take cover. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Cholo's definitely a better Bubbles player than I am. That guy is an insanely good player, but I still think that the ability choice is questionable, to say the least.
And he does pick it up now. I mean,
right.
The silence basically does nothing at level 1. It's like a 0.1 second silence. Is mostly good just for like interrupting channels or from stopping somebody from using an ability for like half a second. Bottom lane, meanwhile, Swiftblade in a lot of trouble. He does get the spin off and has the Ghost Marches as well, so using those in the correct order.
Arrow's coming.
Chuck, yep.
Ultimate Warrior.
And Pyro also, or Bubbles coming in from background. Pyro's going to cut him off. Trello Simeon is going to die, so trying to help his buddy out with a teleport and ends up paying for it with his life.
The Hellborn
Blade Stone's going to be picked up by Pebbles here. And just going to get some nice regen. But
you can tell that Nullstone hasn't played in a while.
yeah, they don't
They
seem
just
particularly
seem really
coordinated.
disorganized. Right.
And here in the woods, Kraken actually get cut out here, but he might get a counter on Glacius. No, Tempest ultimate going to save him. So they did use
Nice.
the Tempest ult to
Very
counter
nice.
Kraken Hole, and they will save Drents. And that's pretty much what they need, but now what you got is perhaps going to be in some trouble. Pebbles actually going to miss the stun, but Tempest in a world of hurt no matter what. Gets pushed back into the Minotaur, and there's the stun, will kill him. Beaverbanger now looking for a counter to somebody, but this might not be the type of engagement he's actually looking for. Noor's Blessing going to help keep everybody alive, and Pebbles looking for some more. Chuck onto him, and Null Beaverbanger will die. They will get the counter kill onto Ophelia as the spin comes back in from Fuzzy Sloth. Trying to chase down this Pebbles now. Has Swift Slashes available, but only level 10, so he's only level 1 Swift Slashes. Yeah, he needs some more, and there we go.
Double tap.
Oh, nice couple of auto attacks there. Stopping Mickey from portal keying and getting these Swift Slashes off. I'm feeling a Pyromancer in the background here, and Insania is taking this pretty well, actually. Waits for it to wear off, trying to live. Not gonna live, but I might be able to get some counter kills out of this. Yeah, so there goes the Shell Surf. Easy kills. Drents, though. Casey does not have portal key, so he will be fine.
He's getting close, though. He's about 250 gold away.
Anyway, we were talking before about the kill on Flunsmeister, which was good, but he wasn't farming all that well, and he's not really the snowball hero. Like, they need to shut him down so he doesn't take off and become like a late game type hero. But Pebbles and Kraken can do that too, and they're
not so much Pebbles.
I mean, Pebbles is a good late game hero.
I disagree. I think when played right, he provides a lot. If you get a good chuck onto their carry, something like that.
Like
his burst damage goes way down, though. I mean, his initial burst is so strong right after he gets his portal key. That's when he is the strongest in his game, because he can pretty much one-shot just about any hero on this Legion team, outside of maybe...
And there you go, once again jumping on top of this Tempest, but not really doing the combo particularly well. And Tempest looks like might survive here, has the Torrent on top of him, trying to get away, but he's in a lot of trouble. Actually, Pyromancer Wave will finish him off now. Chuck back onto Keizu to get him out of there. That was interesting. I think he was probably okay. Yeah, he doesn't get as much straight-up kill potential as he does earlier on, unless it's on like a support or something, which is as valuable.
The Hellborn destroyed a Legion tower.
Well, it could be as valuable, depending, like if it's a Rhapsody or something, or maybe even an Empath. But the fact that he gets somebody so low and forces them to either run back or play more defensive or something like that, or maybe sets up a kill for somebody else, and then just his initiation potential, like having that much damage come out that quickly and so suddenly is really valuable, I think. So I mean, I feel like he scales fairly well. More importantly, regardless of how he scales, that's the hero they need to shut down right now. Not Slither. It's not even really Keizu. It's Mickey on that Pebbles that needs to be killed repeatedly if Nullstone want to get back into this game. So nice that they get kills on Slither. Not particularly relevant in my opinion, just because SynC is not relying on Slither right now. That's not their hero that's gonna do stuff.
It's like we were saying earlier about Defiler, unlocking a hero's potential and finding out what that hero is best at. I think that Pebbles is best at maybe taking short lane, taking middle lane, farming up a portal key, and providing enough ganks mid-game to where you have a hard carry along with that Pebbles who's farming the entire time and can provide the late game presence needed for you to win the game.
Right.
I think that Pebbles is very good at providing the time needed for your carry to get that farm, so that maybe when the 30-minute mark comes along, you can out-carry whoever it is you're versing, since they're so far behind from the Pebbles ganks. Well, it looks like SynC's already pushing the base tower, just 16 minutes in.
And Fuzzy Sloth will teleport back to base. So Nullstone realizing that they do have to defend this because SynC is serious about it. Kelfield on a 2 in the background, but now Bubbles is going to be in a lot of trouble actually. as he does not have a portal key yet, so he will die pretty easily. Mika gonna get focused pretty heavily, but Kaiser getting the release of Kraken on top of the ultimate from Slither, and that's gonna do a whole bunch of damage to what you got. So Cleanse Blast picking up a double tap here. And Pyromancer ultimate actually onto Drents. Will he be able to live? No, he will not. Chuck comes through, and CC both gets called by the Nullstone Gaming side. Looks like they will be able to get a counter kill on the Kaizu, but not that big a deal. And SynC really just outplaying their opponents.
Just so dominant.
Shoot. Yeah.
Null just looked to be in disarray. I mean, this is probably the first game they've played in about a week together, so it's understandable, especially going up against Han's best team at the moment, but yeah, SynC was just so dominant that game.
Yeah, definitely not a great showing from Nullstone, but let's see what they can do. Perhaps bring it back in game number 2, and we'll be heading back into that in just a moment.